Welcome back everybody to the channel. I'm over in Lancaster County still planting, but I thought before we head over to York County and look at the regenerative experiment that I'm doing with planting green full season soybeans, I thought I'd show you the conventional way we're doing it. So you can see right here, looks pretty dead. I came through about a week ago and I sprayed the chemicals that we use on our standard conventional soybean ground. And to be clear, this is how we do all of it. I'm just experimenting on looking at doing it regenerative. But I thought you'd want to see what we're planting into before we get into the other video looking at regenerative planting green. Now what planting green means is we're going to be going into a live green cover crop and planting so at all points the soil microbes are always going to have a living root population to be able to thrive with. So one challenge that we do not have, let me zoom out a little bit. One challenge that we do not have in this situation is closing, because all these roots are dead for a week or so now. So you can see here that the seed bed, now right there is an exposed seed. You can see it right there. But in general, this stuff closes a lot better. Actually, this wheel here, I just adjusted it. It needs some more adjustment. You can see an exposed soybean there. There's a bean. But it's a lot easier to close up when there's not a living crop. That's going to be a huge challenge for us over there. In fact, what we're going to do is we're actually going to set the seed depth about half an inch to an inch deeper to make sure that the seed's getting good soil contact when we get over there. But Ollie, get over here. Hey, Ollie, come on, load up. All right, it's another day. I got my brown dog and red tractor, and we are heading over to get the corn planter. We're running empty here. Just got the tractor back from the shop. He resealed the pump. We're gonna grab the tractor, head over and do some regenerative stuff. So this will be a regenerative video. Gonna try planting green for the first time on our farm ever. All right, we're in the York County weed patch, if you could call it that. So when I came over here, I put a mix in the drill, and it was purple top turnips and wheat. And there was a little bit of rye just left in the drill because it's just for cover crop. So the lighter green here, that's rye. Here's a flag leaf. The head is right here at my hand coming out. Here's some that's, I believe you call that the boot stage, I'm not sure. There's a little bit of barley. This is barley. And this short stuff here is wheat. So the wheat head has not yet come out. The wheat head is right here. It's a pretty poor choice for what I'm trying to do, because if you look straight down at it, you can see and there's a lot of weeds here too. But when you look straight down, you can see it's not very tall at all. It's a pretty good stand, I guess. But I didn't apply any fertilizers. Here's some wheat that's coming out in the head. But my objective here is to plant through this now. To plant through this extra residue, what I'm going to do, I already have all these closing wheels. This is my biggest concern right now for today. My two concerns on the planter, given that this planter has not been modified. I have a no-tail coulter, just your standard opening discs, gauge wheels. This here is not modified. This is your standard equipment. It should be spiked wheels to go into a dense crop. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add spring tension 1 notch. So that'll push down a little harder. I got to go the whole way across, and I'm first going to do that. You know what? I think I'm actually going to not do that. I'm going to try it and see what we got. But it's going to be that and the depth setting. Right now it's set at 1.5 inches, which is pretty generic for soybeans. It's across the board what's recommended. What I may do, just to get some moisture, go to 2 inches. I'm gonna see, but my number one priority is good seed coverage, getting my seed closed up. And then what I'm going to do is come back before the soybean gets too developed and roller crimp it. And I know that's extremely dangerous, because if that fails, I have $5,000 worth of seed in the ground. But when I roller crimp it, all of this will be matted down. You won't see much soil. And I realized that if I wanted to be fully effective in this, I would use rye, but I'm not organic. I'm just trying to be regenerative, so I can essentially destroy this stand and it can still survive a little bit, and I can come back with glyphosate or enlist something and do a cleanup pass. So it's not the end of the world. This is all, you know, experimental. So let's see what we got. So there's not even enough residue to cause any problems here. If we dig down, we should see some seeds, which I'm not. This might be a row that's out. Try another one. See that one's not even getting in the ground. That one needs a little adjustment. Cutting down the plant row that's already there, just for reference. Like, there's a bean, and it is in the soil, but it's also in the straw. So I don't know, I gotta maybe adjust that a little deeper. Came to the realization here that these discs are new this season. They only have like 50 acres, and these discs are very worn out, and that is why we couldn't figure out the reason, but our front rows were not going as deep. So I bumped the whole front row a ½ inch deeper than the back, and we'll see what it does now. So this realization came about because for whatever reason the front rows would not be, they would almost drop the seeds on the surface, and all the other rows were dropping good and deep where we wanted them at that 2-inch setting. So I started thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute. What we do with this planter is every other year, the front rows, look out, Ollie. Every other year, the front rows we go over, and every single year we go over the rear wheels, because the rear wheels plant all the corn acres, the front rows plant corn, or plant only the bean acres. So the rear wheels are twice as worn, in theory. So that's why we did that. With that realization, I'm a little concerned because on my acre counter, I have 76 acres planted already. That puts me 76 acres of soybeans that are in the ground that are not correct. I will say this, my dad went over it with me. He is the one that gave it the okay, and now that this is my ground, I'm the one that's giving it the okay. Therefore, the blood's not on my hands if it was planted incorrect, but it kind of was because I was the guy that planted it. So we're gonna see what happens. Once I get going, I will explain to you all the reasoning for doing this experiment more in depth. All right, now that we got things set up, it's time to fill up with some Pioneer seed. So to make a long story short, what I'm attempting to do here, I'm going to try and condense this down because I did a lot of homework on this before I got into it. I'm trying to plant soybeans into an existing cover crop. However, I'm doing so early, meaning it is May 2nd. So I'm planting May 2nd. The cover crop is not overly established yet. It's not all into a head. And therefore, the reason most people do it for growing purposes, the reason I am doing it is because my dad's planter is available to me. However, tomorrow, this is the last acres of soybeans for full season. Tomorrow, or whenever I get this field planted, we're going to go home, switch over to corn, and it will stay corn until we harvest barley in June and do barley beans. So, because I have to plant early, I'm planting now, and my objective is Memorial Day, approximately, I'll be able to come in and roller crimp this into a standing cover crop soybean mix. The soybean should be in the cotyledon stage, meaning the first leaves there that you'll see, and should be small enough, barely coming out of the ground, that when I roller crimp it will not ding up the beans too bad, if at all. And then I will come through. I'm going to guarantee this is going to fail, in that if you look at it, it's not a very dense stand. it's a guaranteed failure. However, it will succeed in one thing. Number one, it'll be my first year planting green, feeding that soil microbiome, as well as the fact that I'm also going to be eliminating entire spray paths. So I'll come through later with spray chemicals, and I will not have to. By the way, I'm driving, that's why I'm like looking away. I'll be able to eliminate a sprayer pass, which is also both economically sustainable and then environmentally sustainable. So that's the long and short of it. I'm going to make a shorter video talking about this, and I'm going to keep you guys posted as we go through this, but that's what's happening. So as I drive, I'm just going to start pulling forward. Notice all the insects. Now I'll drive and I'm going to stop. See all them insects? Now that just tells me that this is environmentally sustainable. Ignore the beeping. It's my seat alarms because I stopped. That just tells me that this is an environmentally sustainable thing, because if I just sprayed this with insecticide, you wouldn't be seeing that. I know this is a weed mess. I know this isn't the most ideal situation. However, it's the cards we've been dealt, and I think that God willing, this will work out in a good way. So we're learning things as we go through this process, but there's a lot of bugs out there flying around. Alright everybody, thank you for watching. I'm gonna end the video here, I think. We'll check back in again on the video, or on another video, where we'll discuss the success or failure of this whole project. I know that things got a little tense when I told Dad what I was doing, because this isn't how we really do it, and it's pretty risky, and he was not wrong, and I'm praying that he was wrong. That this will work. Yeah, obviously a lot could go wrong trying to plant green with a planter that is not set up to do it, but we're gonna revisit. So thank you guys, God bless you all. If you enjoyed this, subscribe to the channel, check out some other regenerative videos as I experiment. We're doing a little bit of corn regenerative planting experimentation, and some other things, so check out the other videos. Yep, see you guys.